for it.
So good morning, and I am so excited to welcome into my world this morning Lyndsey Shelley. Hello, and thank you for joining me for this chat. So Lyndsey, I first met you on the 22nd of April this year when we both showed up for Speaking from Your Soul event, and I was like, oh my god, Lyndsey's amazing. I loved what you brought because you just sat in front of the camera and said things in a really normal, grounded, down-to-earth way. And also it was totally channeled. And I was like agog.
It was, wasn't it?
We need more Lyndseys in the world.
It was literally very, very channeled. I've just realised then it's the 22nd of June. So this is our anniversary.
Oh, it's our 2-month anniversary. Oh, I love the number 22 because I'm a 22 life path. So I'm like, yay, 22.
So I'm a 33 life path.
Are you? I hardly know only 33s. I didn't know this. Oh,
so
wow.
I'm a 33, and so 369. Obviously, you'll understand all the vibration thing. 369, very, very aligned with me. So obviously, I was born on the 9th. I live at number 9. The plot, because we're in a new build house, was plot 36. Like nines are literally like 369s, just everywhere like that. They are life. Denominations of 3 are life for me. So yeah, I get that.
Amazing.
But yeah, in terms of the channeling thing, that was definitely channeled. And I don't think I've ever had so much fire. I get a lot of fire, but I don't think I've ever had that much fire come through in any channeling. And I come off and I went, Jesus Christ, I said, I think my soul thought she was running for Prime Minister. But it was such good fun. And like, I loved your speech as well. Like, I love geeking out on all of the North and the South node. And I remember, I just got to share this. Do you remember I said to you about my North node being in conflict with it's like family versus career?
Yes.
And we sat on the speaking thing, and like my kids are literally like, there's World War III. My kids are older, like World War III going out there, and I can feel like I'm doing the work and doing the things, and my South node was literally like pulling me back. So we had a good laugh about that as well. I was like, it's all true. It's all absolutely true.
Yeah, I know. Well, because you do so much in human design and you know yourself through the human design lens, I feel that you were very ripe to kind of go, oh, I already believe what Rachel's talking about in astrology, because there are so much synergy, isn't there? So
yeah, absolutely. And I love your lens on it. I love the way, like you said, like for me, I'm never looking, like I'm always looking for that net. Like I'm a learner, like I like to learn, but I'm always looking for somebody that can take me to that next level of awareness, that next level of learning something new about myself through my chart, or other ways, like, you know, just normal lessons in conversations when I see things reflected back to people. Like that for me is what I'm here for, because I'm like, oh, I learned something new about myself today, or oh, I could see that, but now I understand it. And I think there was definitely a divine timing piece for definitely for our meeting, because literally the next week I saw something, I could see something in my chart, and I was like, you know, when you just turn your head and you're trying to look at it from a different thing, and I was like, oh, I can't even, I'm just going to speak to Rachel, because I don't want to work this out for myself. Like I want a different view, because no matter how much I turned my head,
and sometimes when we know our own journey and we know ourselves really well, we're kind of like, I'd really like another pair of eyes on this.
Yeah, definitely, because you can become a bit blinkered as well and think, you know, oh, you know, and you have this conversation with people all the time when you ask, oh yeah, I've done that, know that. Like we're constantly evolving. Like I don't even know, I look at like things like Facebook time hop and stuff like that and think, gee, like I don't even know the person I was like 10 years ago, and some of the things I used to write, like, you know, I'd unfriend that person on social media now, because it's such a massive gap in like awareness and growth and stuff. But I just love that, like just everything is constantly moving and evolving. And I think we have to stay on top of our own personal development and understanding as we go through the seasons, right? So yeah, very aligned.
This is why I love these soul frameworks that take us both more deeply into ourselves, but also to be able to look at what's coming next and managing those periods of change. Because I saw in my chart, here's just a little personal story. I saw in my chart that a house move is on the cards this year. And I was like, we love where we live. We love living together. The house prices are terrible. The mortgage sector is terrible. I'm like, I've seen it in the chart, and I don't want to. I'm like, yeah. And then yesterday, the landlord and landlady said, "Oh, we have to sell, and we want to sell an empty house, so you're going to have to go." So it's like really, really quickly. I was like, I knew this was going to happen, but I also knew it would be an external pressure.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, when you can see it, you can sort of prepare your soul and go, I'm ready for it, but I also know that this isn't going to come from me. I am actually going to hear the words from someone else and then go, okay, now's the time, we've got to go.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting because I don't know if you remember on that call that I was just talking about. We were talking about Uranus being conjunct my MC. Now,
let's
we
take a look at your chart, shall we?
We were, and obviously it's still there now. So what's really interesting is obviously, you know, MC all around career and all of that sort of stuff. I knew a change was coming. Now in the last 4 weeks, I have taken on a completely new business that's growing and expanding. Obviously alongside all of my other stuff that I do. But
can I just ask you, how did it feel to kind of was it a quick change? Did it feel slow, quick, smooth, bumpy?
No, it was really, so I can tell you exactly what happened. So I was literally on the beach, I was doing a live, I was talking about limitation and the word imitation being in the word limitation. You know me, I'm very much about, I don't like people wearing masks. I want people to be transparent, who they say they are, integrity. You know, the person you show up as online should be the person you are at home and in all other areas of your life. Like, I'm very, very passionate about that. Anyway, so I was doing a live on that and literally I clicked it off, and I'd been thinking about this person in the car on the way to the beach. And this person sent me a message and said, look, I've come across this thing. She said, and you were the first person I thought of. I said, well, that's really weird because I was thinking about you this morning. Anyway, I said, right, give me some information. Give me some information. I'll take a look at it. And it was like 1:45 or something. She said, can you be at home for 1:30? And I was like, oh, I'm cutting it a bit fine to like get off the beach and get home. But it was like literally something inside of me was like, go. So I literally like ran back to my car, got in the car, drove home, forgot to pay for my parking. Like, because I just got like something just carried me off the beach kind of thing. Got home, jumped on this call, got all the information, was like, right, yeah, I'm in. Anyway, it turns out if I look at it through human design gates, this business that I've come into, like if I look at it through human design and gene keys, the word in my MC gate is quintessential. Okay. This business, and I didn't realize this probably until I'd said yes 3 days later, the Q in the business that I've gone to stands for quintessential. So I was and it's like you're never gonna get a signier sign than that. And you know, when we dive into that gate, it's look, you can see it here, 23. I'm guessing that's where the moon is there.
Where are you looking
just
again?
by my MC here. So,
oh right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is obviously 20. Is that 23 degrees? The moon there. Underneath that.
Your moon's at 15 degrees of Taurus there, and Uranus is just past your MC at 19
Oh, it's just gone
degrees.
Past it now.
It's just gone past it. It's
just gone past. Yeah. So it was.
But I mean, Uranus moves quite slowly, so it's creating revolution, rebellion, change, quick evolution on top of your career. You know, how you shine and how you shine in a public light. That's your MC. Yeah. So all of that Uranus is creating, if we're not awakened to it, it can create change and unpredictability and instability in scary ways. But if we know a change is coming and we're open to it and we see it as being exciting and adventurous, we can respond really quickly and just go, oh, I saw this coming, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did literally respond really, really quickly and be like, you know, like I wanted to feel that a different sort of energy kind of in my work, and it's definitely brought that side in. So, you know, and yeah, like it was exciting. So I just wanted to share that because obviously that was a conversation we'd had in
It's
the session.
amazing. And as well, because like you came to me specifically about your north node, south node,
Yeah,
because that's the talk that I've given. And I'm really
yeah,
passionate about people trying to, you know, wanting to live their soul and life purpose. But I'm really conscious that with the north node, we actually have to consciously develop and work on those traits. Whereas with the south node, it's so easy and comfortable. We can get pulled back into it, and it doesn't actually serve our purpose. So it's not that we're trying to move away from it. It's really going, I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. I was all those things. I've practiced it for lifetimes. I came into this life with, for you, Sagittarius under my belt. Now I'm developing Gemini. So for you to develop Gemini in your 10th house, so this is North Node in 10th house, which is amazing because it's all very much future development, you know, going in that direction.
yeah,
And you've also got your part of fortune in your 10th house in Gemini. You are totally designed to communicate on that local community level as chit chat with your peers. And actually, that is you being your spiritual self.
yeah, 1,000,000%. And I think one of the things that the feedback I always get, and you know, being a second line in my human design, I don't always see myself. It's the honesty of it.
Yeah, right.
But like people will come to me and be like, "Do you remember when you said to me?" And I'm like, "Not a clue. Like I talk a lot, right?" And they go, "That changed everything for me. Like that one
Wow.
thing you said to me has always stuck with me." So that's very much like, and it can be like I wouldn't say a throwaway comment. Like there's intent in everything I say,
Yeah.
but it's like stuff that would just come out that
Mm.
is actually quite revolution. Like to me, is like just standard or whatever, but actually quite life changing and transformational for other people. Like just the way I look at things. And one of the things someone said to me the other day, he said, "I like the way you think," and I was like, "Oh, that's a nice thing to say." Like, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because that
Yeah.
felt like it was a lot deeper than, "Oh, I like your hair," or I was like, "I
Yeah.
like the way you think," and I was like,
That's so
"Oh, oh,
specific, isn't
thanks."
it? And as soon as you said that, I looked to Mercury because Mercury is, yes, it's about speaking, listening, reading, writing. So it's that communication, but it's the mental processing, isn't it? So
Mhm.
and look at yours at 1 degree of Aquarius. So let's just talk for a moment. Actually, this is a beautiful bridge. Thank you, universe. This, and thank you to the guy who complimented you. Um, so Pluto, since the 11th of June, has moved back in retrograde into Capricorn. Now, I've been talking about this like upcoming window. I was talking about it for a while. I was so excited about Pluto going into Aquarius for 4 months this year between March and June. And it was like we had this sneak preview, and I saw people up level, enjoy themselves, come out of their shell, and just kind of go, oh my God, we're here, like power to the people, yay, it's all like Aquarian energy. And now some of us feel as though we've been karmically rebounded like a boomerang back into the quagmire of toxic sludge. And it's like, what the fuck is happening? So there is just that period of time where it's like, we're going to go back and retrieve or help the people who didn't get the lifeline about, hey, it's the age of Aquarius, guys. Can we start to see people as equals and quit the corny corruption, lying, any
Hierarchy.
control
Yeah,
hierarchy? It's like
1,000,000%.
there's a lot that still needs dismantling there. Now, I love to see people's planets in Aquarius, and also really interesting parts of their chart that are in Aquarius. Now, you are Sun in Aquarius, but also to have your Mercury on fire at number 1 degree of Aquarius. It's like when we see a planet at 0 or 1 or 2 early degrees of a sign, it's like supersized. It's like, I'm here to do this. see me, I am Aquarius. It's really like that. So you are really kind of powerfully aligned to be a voice of the age of Aquarius. So it feels like, you know, that session that you did on the 22nd of April, we had a power day because it was like number 22. We had loads of awakened people in the room. We had Pluto in Aquarius, and you were there with Pluto activating your Mercury to speak.
And didn't I speak?
Didn't you speak? It's like speaking us all into a new age.
Yeah.
But really, it's like that doesn't stop because your natal Mercury is at Aquarius. You're designed to kind of champion people as equals and to help people move into a place of rebellion if they need to, evolution because we all need to, and constant evolution. And it ties in really nicely with the fact that you've also got North Node in Gemini, because that's air sign again designed to speak. So over to you. I will stop speaking. Tell us about how it's going in your network marketing business now.
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting. Like I said, you know, I'd kind of had my background was 21-year retail management career. I fell in, I came, went into network marketing, built a huge business in network marketing, transitioned. Like I'm very much somebody that's quite comfortable with change. Like change keeps me healthy, it keeps me evolving, like new experiences. Came into the coaching and healing, like really opened up my gifts, my intuition, a lot of deconditioning in terms of you should be like this, you should do this, like that's been my whole journey. And then was called back into the network marketing space because one of the things that I really know about me is I'm a connector. I connect people with people, and you will have experienced this, Rachel. Like I'm a natural network marketer. If I say to somebody, you need to go and speak to my friend Rachel, she will absolutely get you sorted out and get you on the right track. People will go, okay, yeah, and they will book in. True story, right?
Yeah.
Products are the same. Like if I say to somebody, this product will really help you, those people will buy that product. And I'll be honest, I've had to work through a lot of ego around network marketing not being spiritual enough. But then it's like, well, if I've got a person in front of me that I can recommend to somebody that can help somebody, I do that. Like if I've got a product in front of me that can help somebody, then I can do that. So I've had to call myself out on a lot of shit to kind of go, but it's actually what I do naturally,
Yeah.
Even if I wasn't a network marketer, if there was I've got some essential oils here. I say to somebody, oh my God, like this has been so good, like you need it. I just do it naturally. People, I said this to you before, people always call me the spiritual guy in the pub. They're like, you go and ask her because she will know who you need or what you need to get yourself sorted out, right? And when I say that, it's like, like I say the olden days, like the old community style was everybody would gather in the pub and there was a plumber and there was an electrician and there was all of these people that could come and sort out all the decorator, all the things in your house. Well, I'm like that person in my community. Somebody's like, oh, I'm really struggling with this. Right, go to, I really want to know what I'm here. Oh, go and speak to Rachel. Or, oh, I can't sleep. Well, I've got a product for that. Or like all of that. I just do it really, really naturally, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stigma and stuff around the industry, and I've had to really dig into myself and be like, no, that's who I am. And actually I do it quite differently. I am coloring outside of the lines. Like I wouldn't say I was a traditional network marketer, and I just love connecting with people, like, and I completely detach to any of the other stuff that doesn't resonate with me, because I know that there's not just one way to do things. We get to be authentically ourselves, work with whatever aligns with us, do things in a way that that aligns with us, and it's always for the highest and bestest. But at the beginning of my network marketing career, I probably was one of those sheepy people that and I don't mean did it the way you were told and then went, fuck that shit, that's not for me. Like I'm just going rogue, right? The Aquarius
Yeah,
going rogue. Like, nah, that's
it.
just not gonna work for me. And it's like tonight we've got some new products launching. I was like, oh my god, let's do an event, but it's all around healing and heart opening and all of the stuff. And then the product's just going to be part of all of that. And it's like,
yeah,
it's not
oh,
traditional. No, but that's a little bit of me, right? And I do like to colour outside of the lines, because ultimately I just want people to do life their way.
Yeah, but you're role modeling that, right? So
absolutely.
I must admit, I don't actually know, and I don't need you to explain. I'm not aware of the underbelly or dark side or stigma attached to, or any perceptions attached to network marketing. I don't know. But what I see is you being you as your true, authentic spirit, and leading your own life in your own way. And actually, on an energetic level, there is so much power in you actually just going out and being you. It's like that it emanates in every layer of your aura, so that people who come into contact with you, they don't even actually need to hear your words. It's who you are.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
when you have fully embodied that and you just go out as that person, it's almost like, if there is any, and I believe you totally, because every industry has, hierarchy, control, perception, limiting beliefs that people don't know are limiting beliefs. It's, when you enter an organization, you basically absorb and become part of that culture. And then there's a little bit of a fight to go, but who am I? And I recognize that from teaching, because it was like, there's a layer of management and organization and leadership structure, and then there's me in the classroom, and me in the classroom was fully me. And then it was like, oh yeah, I kind of have to pretend to be somebody else now in the the whole in front
in the staff room.
Well, the staff room was great, to be fair, and I always hoped and prayed that all the teachers were just going into the classroom as themselves, and we were all just kind of nodding at management. Yes, we'll do that.
1,000,000%. I get it. And I'll be honest, I am very lucky with this company. It is on a very, very different frequency. Like, they're working really hard for the people, whereas I've not actually had that. Like, they're quite revolutionary in their approach, because a lot of times it's like there's the corporate team, and then there's the people on the ground, and there's none of that. Like, that heterarchy that I've always spoken about is very much there. Like, I can go and message the CEO and be like, I need this, and he's like, yeah, we can make that happen, or that's a long, like, there's communication. Like, do you know what I mean? Whereas some things, it's like, oh, minions, do not. There is none of that. Like, and that's what I love, and I think that's why I was really, really called back to the right company,
and that's true networking, right?
Absolutely.
And it's also the way that I see social media and the internet working. Like, I know that people quite rightly can see a dark side of technology. I've always seen it like, oh my God, you're in your house where you live, I'm in my house where I live. And we're having this chat now together. Thank you, technology. I think it's brilliant.
1,000,000%. And obviously I did my first event and presentation on Tuesday in Birmingham, but some of the guys that joined my team, I've been internet friends with for 3 years, and I've never met them, but that was an opportunity for us to come together, like, and actually meet in the flesh. Like, I've been to people's weddings. I went to a wedding a couple of years ago with a girl who was in my previous company, and I was stood outside chatting to her dad, and he said, well, how do you know Tanya? And I said, I've only met her today. And he went, what? And I was like, well, I've known her a while. I was like, but this is the first time I physically met her. And he was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, you're meeting her on her wedding day. I was like, oh, it's cool, right?
Amazing.
But it just blows. But that's the power, isn't it? That you could go, the community, your communities are just so much wider now. I think I could travel anywhere in the UK and be like, oh my God, I think I'm near you. Like, do you want a cup of tea? Like, do you know? And I love that. Like, I literally love that. Oh, we're camping here. Like, where are you in the map? I'm even going over to America in August for a
Yeah.
convention, and one of my human design buddies that I've been friends with for 2 years, and like we have similar placements and we chat a lot, I was like, are you anywhere near here? Now America is massive, half
Oh,
a mile away.
what? Oh no.
Away. And
Well,
I
like,
was like,
full of synchronicities.
isn't it? But how powerful is that? And you
Oh,
know, I just,
amazing.
what a time to be alive, eh?
I know. And actually, perfect bridge there. Thank you. What a time to be alive. Let's just look at what's going on today, because the green planets on the outside, I've cast a natal plus transits chart here. So the
Mhm.
transits, this is what's going on in the sky right now. So I just want to draw your attention to, and you already knew that Venus, Mars, and Lilith have been sitting on top of each other. And now the moon joins in today, all of that in Leo. Now,
Yeah,
we all have all 12 signs somewhere in our charts, somewhere in our houses. Now, it's interesting that your 12th house is Leo. Now, when we see a person who is awakened, and they've awakened to themselves, and they've done the deconditioning work, they've brought material from their subconscious into conscious awareness, they've stripped off what are other people's beliefs and all this jazz and come into who the fuck am I? That's basically doing the 12th house work. Yeah. So
yeah,
shadow, it's being willing and able to reflect and see yourself and do the changes, the reversals, the healing, whatever it is, stepping into a whole new you.
yeah,
So, and I love the fact that when you were talking earlier about your hair being very mane-like and powerful,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It is. I'd had a picture taken at the event on Tuesday, and I had one, and it was very professional. I was like, oh, that's a nice profile picture. How lovely. And then I was obviously dicking about and pulling some funny faces, and there was one where I was like, and I was like, oh my God, like my hair is massive, long and really curly. I was like, oh, that's the one, that's the energy. And I literally changed my profile picture, but I just loved it. I was like, oh, it's so
yeah.
raw.
Yeah, and very of the moment. I mean, I don't change my profile picture that much, but I know people do, and I like it. I like to see it because it's like making a statement of this is the energy of now.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of
absolutely.
power of now. And when you were talking about your hair, I was like, I've got to just remind myself, where's Leo in Lyndsey's chart? Here it is. And what I often find with 12th house is when we've awakened ourselves to something, we then go out and help others with that thing. So it feels to me like you help other people get on that stage and roar and take up space, take up energy.
You know what? It's really, really funny as well. Like, I just love this, right? So, and I'm just using these because they're real life examples, right? In terms of how it actually plays out. So, obviously went up to the event, had some of my team with me. There was some travel issues, and the other people that were supposed to be presenting with me weren't going to get there till after the event had finished. Their flights had been cancelled from Ireland and all sorts. Anyway, and they were like, what are we going to do? And I stood next to one of my my team, and friend of many years, and I went, it's fine, Emma will do it. And she kind of looked at me and went, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not a public speaker. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, leave it with me. And I was like, Emma, you've got this. You are a complete natural. Like, just trust whatever comes through. I was like, you've got a story. I was like, just go and share it. And she was like, and I tell you what, she absolutely fucking smashed it. Like, she literally not even like did well. Like, she absolutely fucking battered it out of the park. So that is that.
Yes, it's perfect. I would like you to talk about Lilith to us because your Lilith, your natal Lilith, is sitting over here in your 7th house. And traditional astrology tells us that 7th house is like marital partnership or people we are in contractual relationships with or arrangements. Well, it is, but you know what? In this online world, wherever we show up in one-to-one work, whatever's in our 7th house, the sign, the planets, the asteroids, it characterizes what we show up for in one-to-one work. So how we powerfully help someone else. Now, right at the moment, Saturn is transiting conjunct your natal Lilith. So this means to me that you are going to ground something in the real world into the darkness and the depths of Lilith. Now, I am not a specialist in Lilith. I will hold my hands up and say I am more of a specialist investor in Pallas Athena. You know, we've all got our favorite goddess energies.
Yeah.
But at the moment, because you work consciously so much with Black Moon Lilith, and there is this massive conjunction going on for everyone, I would like to invite you to just do your thing and talk about what you feel is coming up collectively for people about Lilith right now. Go for it. Here's your platform.
So I had some things that were coming up yesterday, and I'll be honest, I always go and look at the chart and be like, that's interesting because I've seen it here and I've seen it here. There's got to be something going on up there, right? So I'll pull up the chart. Now, when I saw and obviously I know the moon's joined it this morning, but you've got Mars, the masculine, you've got Venus, the feminine, and then you've got Black Moon Lilith. And if you saw it on the chart, then it's actually in the middle. Lilith is in the middle of Venus and Mars. So that's very, very appropriate for me. Because the way I always see it, and I work a lot with the people balancing the masculine and the feminine, whether it be in their business, in their relationships, like to just really bring people back to that kind of that center and that balance and balancing out those polarities. Now, for me, the Black Moon Lilith energy is the bridge between the masculine and the feminine. And the reason I always say this is because, and one of the things that I really support women is that Black Moon, darker feminine energy is the stuff that people suppress, right? And, you know, the feminine isn't all like, it's like flow and this, that, and the other. There's an assertiveness to the feminine that says, I'm here. I'm here. I'm fine. I'll take care of myself. Like, I'll lead myself, and I'll just let the masculine know if I need anything, because the masculine serves the feminine. Okay. But a lot of people that won't step into that, and I bitch like, right, and that's the stereotype, you know, that bitch energy to express your needs, express your wants, is what keeps your feminine actually suppressed. Because then what happens is, you know, and you may see this playing out in your life, the masculine then takes over because it's like, oh, the little feminine's too weak, she's not going to get what needs to be done. And then this is why women end up pushing in their masculine energy, because their feminine is like, just wants to sit and, you know, and flow and all of the things. However, being in your masculine, and I say this as somebody that spent a lot of my life in my masculine, basically had a mental breakdown and burnt out, which over the last 3 years I've still been recovering from, in terms of adrenal fatigue and all of the stuff. And that was one of the reasons I kind of got involved with this company that I'm in now. But like, we've got to find that balance. And the honesty of it is, when you have that assertiveness and that dark feminine, you can say to your masculine, right, you just sit down, I've got this, rather than kind of go into that like hiding and waiting for things to happen, because we need both. The feminine is the spark of creation, which is like, oh my god, this would be amazing, and then the masculine goes, I'll do that for you, honey. But if we don't really step into that assertive bridge in the middle of like, right, this is what it's going to look like, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, it's the right, this is the vision, this is what it's going to look like, and then the masculine goes and does it. However, if you look at the outside world, and I'm try and be gracious with these examples, where the feminine has been suppressed constantly, like, you sit down and shut up because you haven't got a clue what you're talking about, I'll get this done, you know, you get in the kitchen, you do. It's very much the masculine telling the little feminine, and I don't mean that derogatory, what to do. The dark feminine in the middle goes, fuck that shit, I'm here for more, like, I'm powerful, I can create, I'm the creator, like, I give birth, this comes through me, like, I'm going to get shit done. and you are going to work for me. You're going to work with me. Yeah. And bringing it back in together. So when you look at the sky, you can see this, the bridge is there on the chart of the feminine, Black Moon Lilith in the middle, and then the Mars. So that if you are a woman that's watching this and you're starting to feel some of that darker, like, I've had a fucking enough of this shit, right? That wants to come through. You do not suppress that shit. Communicate, right? Do it in a way. It's about taking your power back and being like, no, I am a strong woman. Yeah. And really balancing those polarities rather than shrinking back and being like, I can't do this. You know, you're more powerful than me. You're right. I'm wrong. Bit Matilda. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
I
really
do know what you mean. I've got 1,000 examples in my head, because also people bring this stuff to me, and I've got examples from myself. So I do think there's, like, one thing that came up for me as you were talking there is a word of caution to do that with. If you were going to push back at an actual man doing that, there are certain men who will listen to that and be educated and start to come into awareness about it. There are certain men who will punish you through physical violence. So, as for standing up for them, to them, no, walk out the door. The answer is walk out the door, get a million miles away from them. Yeah. So it's like, there are certain people who you can be assertive with. There are certain men who are still in a mindset of, I'm going to punish a woman all day for being intelligent, assertive, and psychic. I've been punished for all that.
Yeah.
And literally, the answer is walk out the fucking door. Break all contact, and then heal yourself, and then listen to Lyndsey with your much more awakened and emotionally responsible people who've, you know, it's this piece for men, isn't it? We cannot tarnish all men with the same brush, or have the same expectations. But it feels like there is so much amazing healing being done, and that has been done with women coming into their empowerment. And really, it's a call for a man to kind of step up into what's their role now. And that's not the same for everybody, same as we're all on different journeys. And it's that, you know, I do see certain women who are kind of go, oh my God, you just have to walk out the door. Literally, that person isn't, it doesn't matter how empowered you are, that person's about 20 years behind you. Leave.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, 1,000,000%. And I completely get that. And I had a situation yesterday, like, you know, your intuition will always guide you. Like for me, you know, I've had, you know, I've encountered like horrible abuse in terms of the workplace, like online, with men who don't particularly like powerful women like me that stand up and talk and all of their things. And I see those people come in, and it's just like, I can be like, you know, fuck you. Like they're people I can move away from. Obviously, I haven't experienced the other side of it. And, you know, you a roar is a roar. Sometimes it's loud and sometimes it's quiet. And you absolutely, you know, you absolutely find that strength and whatever it looks like to you. And I'm just saying, a roar is a roar. And we were just talking about that being in Leo, right? All of this is going on in that Leo 12th house, and it is. And I don't mind sharing. Like, I had one of the things I had to work through in my business was being seen on LinkedIn. And I know this is a conversation that we've had, that we've had, and I didn't feel safe on there, because that's where those men that had suppressed me in my career, where they all are, you know. And it was it felt like a genuine fear that was still playing out for me. And I had to go back, and this was very recent, like I had to go back and work through some of that stuff. But I think it's less about how you take your power back. Sometimes it's going to be silent, you know, and, you know, done. And sometimes it's going to be like, no, you don't get to fuck with me anymore. Like, and you get to choose which way works. One of the situations I had yesterday, out of the two, one I was very vocal on. And it was like, because actually it wasn't a case of, I just need to remove this this person from my life. It was like, I need him to understand where I'm coming from, so that the energy moves, the expectations clear, and we move forward. I had somebody else, and I was like, no response is still a response. Like, I'm not even gonna dignify, I'm not even gonna give my energy and my power away to that comment. Like, I see where you're coming from, I see exactly what you're trying to do, because I'm on the way up, and you, unfortunately, like, you don't mean enough to me for me to even reply to you. You know what I mean? So there is, but you're always going to know, you're always going to be guided, I think, in every moment. Now, don't get me wrong, the old me would have been like, go fuck yourself, right? And I was like, does he matter?
Yeah, and that's not balanced either, is it? Because I was like that. I was like, oh, but I need everybody to know the truth. I need everybody to know.
No. And you're just like that. No, I'm just gonna, it doesn't matter. That's a him problem. That's not a problem. But I think it's, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm not, and I'm not men bashing at all. I've been happily married for 15 years. Like, I have a lot of very, very incredibly balanced men in my life, but equally, I think every single woman is going to it's the paradigm shift, isn't it? Is going to experience these in some way, whether it be at work, whether it be in a relationship, whether it be within family, or it might even be somebody at the park. You know, I've seen this before as well. Women, you know, at the parking lot, where there's parking lot, sound American, at the, you know, at parking where it's like, oh, you can't drive, or watch where you fucking go. Like, you see it everywhere. Like, even if it's not, like,
I actually get the reverse.
Maybe I'm just super conscious of it.
I get like, I parked. I'm really good at parking. I don't know why. I've just got this skill. I can like just go zoom, parallel park. And I've had like men look like their jaws are dropping because they can see I'm a woman and I can park. And I've had people go like that. How did she literally get that car in that space? And I think everyday sexism. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Like,
it is, and I think it is, and I think, like you said, some people are definitely kind of catching up and healing that, you know. And I look at it like with my husband, like, and I look at kind of, we're, you know, there are some men that are healing the masculine wound, but there are also women that are healing the feminine wound, and we're all doing our bit. But I think when you just have consciousness, and one of the things I always say to people in business, and I don't mind sharing this because I think this might be quite useful for somebody. So when you are in business, and I know obviously a lot of your audience is business people, when you are in business, you need the masculine and the feminine to work together. If you are stuck in a place and it's like, I've got no motivation, I've got no get up and go, I can't get anything done, I don't know what I want to do, the honesty of it is your masculine is fucked off, right? He's gone. He's gone. And you're sat in your feminine, and it's like, and this is where you step into this darker feminine in terms of this bridge, right? But what I always empower people to do is to have a look at the masculine story that is playing out in their real life. Are you, as a woman, being supported by the masculine, whether that be your husband, a father, like whatever? Like, what does that support looks like? Are you being supported emotionally? Are you being supported physically? And are you being supported financially? Because one of the other old paradigm things is the man pays the bills and makes sure he provides for his family, but then does nothing else. And this is why there is a whole entourage of women who feel unsupported, because it's like, they're not bringing in, they might not be bringing in the money, but they're doing everything else. So they're still very much taking on, you know, in that burnout state, whether you've got a business, whether you work or not. Do you know what I mean? And
it's still really, doing all the childcare and
it's
everything.
Really having a look at where your needs are being met from those three things: the physical, emotional, and financial.
It's very much detaching from the family stories as well, isn't it? Because we've all got different family stories. Some of us might have had a mum who was like an absolute powerhouse, like mine, absolute powerhouse of go out and earn and, you know, really create that amazing solid wealth for herself.
But I didn't have that.
But not in an astrology way, right?
So
but mine we're all running those different stories.
Yeah, we really, really are. And I think one of the biggest paradigm shifts is around like the masculine and the feminine earning the money in the home, because I know from my relationship, Ryan is a lot more nurturing, like would rather be at home. He helps around the house and all of the thing. And one of the things people always say to me is, you are so lucky. You are so lucky. Like, he helps with this, he does that. And I'm like, but I didn't grow up. That wasn't my story growing up. My dad is not a Ryan. Like, even now, I'm like, oh my God, like, what are we living in the 1920s? Dad, put your dish in the dishwasher. Like, she's not a slave, right? You know. And he's like, oh, and it's completely unconscious. You know, my dad's not a bad person, but I'm like, come on, like, come on, help her. She's been at work all day. And he's like, oh yeah. Like, but there's all these different stories playing out. But that's not to. But it just shows you where you're at in terms of that masculine. Like, are you open as well to support? Are you communicating your needs? Or like, I remember someone once was like, my husband does nothing to help me in the house. Like, I'm absolutely knackered and he just sits there. And I said, have you asked him to help? Well, no, he can see. No, men don't think like women. If you need something and you want something, you ask for it. And I think this is where that assertive feminine comes through. Like, I need you to do this, I need help. Because sometimes we can go to that hyper independent 2-year-old that's like, I do it myself. But actually, we need to be open to receive that support as well. You know, if I say to Ryan, oh my God, I'm so fucking overwhelmed today, I've got this to do, can you help me? And he'll go, yeah, I'll do that one. I ain't got a clue how to do that, I'll be honest, but I'll do that one and that one. But if otherwise, and this is what the old Lyndsey used to do, I'd be doing all of these things around, you know, you fucking shoveling the hoover up around him. And he's like, are you okay? Do you need any help? Nope, I'll do it myself. But actually, he was available to help. I just didn't ask, didn't communicate. And this is what we've got to get really good at, saying, you know, I'm overwhelmed, I need support. Like, we don't have to, we like drop those shoulders and just be open to receive the support. And just those little changes you can make, like communicating your needs, asking for help.
And it's bringing back into balance, isn't it? Wherever that individual balance has been out of alignment, is bringing that back into balance for individuals. But I love that about asking for support. I remember that was a big one for me. Like, just never thinking actually that I had to do everything. If somebody said it to me, a lady a few years ago said to me, why do you think that you have to do everything? It was such a powerful question. It makes you go, oh my gosh, I'm giving off that energy. What am I doing that for?
Hyper independent. It's that hyper independent 2-year-old that do it myself, right? Isn't it? You know, and you're a mum, you definitely know what I'm talking about, and girls as well. Like, I don't actually remember noticing it so much with Charlie, but definitely Lily was like, I'll do it myself. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God, but actually we don't. You know, we are here to be served and supported by the masculine, but, and you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be a man. You know, we have friends that help us, that will be like, let me do that for you, let me take something off your plate, and you go, no, like, you've got your own stuff to worry about. Being open to receive that support, where emotionally, physically, financially, regardless of what it's coming from. And often the reason people don't receive it is because they think that it means there's something wrong with them, that they can't cope, or that they're weak, that they're weak and this, that and the other, which is why we stay in the masculine. But actually, it's like, wow, if I had this help, how much, like, one, how rested and balanced am I going to feel? But that's the energy you then put out into the world. And I'll give you an example. Like, my sister a few weeks ago messaged me, we were just chatting, and she said, I'm so tired. Like, she's got a child with additional needs, she's got a younger child, she works full time, her husband works, and generally just like, she doesn't sit down, her ass doesn't touch the sofa from Monday to Friday, right? And she was like, my house is an absolute mess, this, that and the other. And I was like, I've got some time tomorrow. I was like, I'll come and clean your house. And she was like, would you actually? And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do any of the other stuff. I was like, but I'll come and put my tunes on and clean your house. And I do love a bit of cleaning. Not my own house, but I was
You're like the perfect sister.
Yeah, yeah. And anyway, and I went and did that, and she was like, oh my God, like, you pulled this out. Oh my God, you did the top bit. She was like, I don't get time to do that. She was like, and I look at it and I just think, oh, and she literally cried. She was like, that's literally the best thing anybody could have ever done. She was like, because I've come in and I've looked at my kitchen and I'm like I don't feel like, oh, you know. And then bit by bit over the next couple of weeks, she started getting into her cupboards and doing those little bits, and she was like, oh, I just my house just makes me feel so much better. Do you know what I mean? And that is like, that's the kind of support. But I've got friends equally, you know, when my kids were younger and Ryan would be deployed or whatever, because he was in the military, I'd be like, I'm just so tired, like I haven't spent more than 5 minutes by myself and I just feel like I'm going mad. And my best friend Claire would be like, we'll come and take Lily for the day, she can have a sleepover. Now, full disclosure, she used to take Lily and then I'd be texting her every 20 seconds making sure she was okay. But like, I was open to receive, you know, I was open to receive that help. And you know, it's
I love that.
being open to it, isn't it?
It is open to receive the support. Love her.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sure we could go on forever and
We
literally talk all day, but I'm going to end it there and say thank you so much for talking about all of that. And I hope that everyone who has watched it and made it this far, thank you. But I'm sure that you will have absolutely loved everything that Lyndsey had to say. And I just want to thank you, Lyndsey, for taking your time to come here and chat about all of that, and also for letting me show your energy through your chart as well. Amazing.
Oh, you're very welcome. I love it. And I think we just covered so much there.
I know.
And I love it when it just all, you know, all slots in and all of the things. But yeah, thank you very much. And, you know, thank you for your support on my journey and stuff as well. Much appreciated. I am open to receive.
We're all open to receive. It's our new mantra for this time.
Yeah,
open to receive. Totally going to bring everything back into balance.
Love it.
If people want to contact you, we'll pop the details for them to do that in the description below. What's the best place for them to find you?
I'm all about community, so I am on Instagram, but you'll find me hanging out and a lot more active on Facebook because I like to connect with people. So yeah, just head over to there. You can connect with me there.
Amazing. Thanks again for joining me today, and thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you. Bye.